Farkash, please help them. They're in their own key.
Aaron, you need to lead us.
There's 17 keys going on here.
And now Dov and Torah get in their own.
God, maybe we could do an Australian Renana duet.
And broken windows.
And we'll have to mute everyone else.
I can't lip read. I can't understand what you're saying.
It's Rabbi Twersky.
For me to start singing.
Eli and Rabbi
Twersky's birthday. We're not singing to Eli. We're singing to Rabbi Twersky.
Rabbi Twersky, happy birthday.
The Maggid Shir is very humble. He doesn't want
Very shy.
Rabbi Isai, you guys should sing now as we're starting, because all that is going to get cut out.
We paid off Yossi. We're all going to be
One second, Eli. I do the editing.
Eli, fix
I know, but you don't want these 4 minutes. Rabbi Isai, let's start it all over. One more time for Eli Stefansky. Let's go on the same key. All right. It's beautiful. Dov Farkash and Simon Cohen are grinding their teeth. All right. Gershon, are you ready? Otazoi. Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Lilu Nishmas Imi Morosi Rusbas Mordechai. Today's shir sponsor. Who's not muted? That's the Shaila here. All right, we have records, 2 records today. Record amount of sponsors, record amount of emails. Sponsored by Dr. Factor, the one and only, who hosted the amazing RBS team in his house. He gave a tremendous donation to MDY in honor of my Ashes Chayil Shani Rochel Bas Rivka on her 40th birthday. Another birthday party today. May she continue to shep nachas from her family. She woke up at 5 a.m. Monday morning last week, so excited to send me and my son off to start Pesachim. They have amazing children. They have Dov Factor, who just turned 9 years old, who she drives every single day. That's what I heard, to learn Torah. Nashim b'mazachin. I knew I should have locked the door. But I didn't want to insult Yeshua, so I said, you know, I'm not going to lock the door. Shkoyach. Sponsored by Yoni Gershon for the 7th yard side of my father, the Finkesberger Rebbe, Zichron Levracha, Rebbeinu Shmuel ben Reb Yitzchok Elimelech. For the Refuah Shlema, Hillel Ezra ben Ora. What are you doing?
This is from Uncle Phil.
Okay. For the Refuah Shlema of Hillel Ezra ben Ora, 6-week-old baby. Thanks. Now go deal with that dog. Go. Shkoyach. No. Get that out of here. Get the balloon. I can't have a balloon here. Shkoyach, but I appreciate the balloon. No. Arois. 6-week-old baby who's having for Refuah Shlema for Hillel Ezra ben Ora, a 6-week-old baby who's having surgery at this daf, as this daf is being learned. In memory of Yartzeit of my father, Yisrael ben Yosef, Joe Berry, Yosef ben Yisrael. Sponsored by the Adam Labato, the covered our Haley Gemagachir Eli in honor of his birthday. I'm 48 years old today, Rabbi Isai, Hebrew. Shbaruch Hu should continue to shower you the bracha and atzlacha, and most importantly, enable you to keep giving the best Daf Yomi shir bar none. Rebelli Mazel Tov, 48 is the Gematria Gedula. Hashem Yazor, you should continue to grow as you lead us all, and you grow towards Gedula and Torah, avoid the Gemiz Chasadim. Best wishes for Admeh ve'esim Shana with Gezund Latzanachas Simchas. Mordechai Ashkenazi, Shini Hashem. Hebrew birthday, Hebrew name, Michael Lichter, in honor of the greatest commercialized Daf Yomi. Don't ask. I touched a big nerve over there when I read that email.
Eli,
We'll discuss it. Yes.
fix your collar.
Ooh, the birthday boy's collar's a little off. Okay.
Hashem should give you more moyach. 48.
Yeah. Commercialized Daf Yomi and the great Hillel Kamiansky. Wow. We're running out of time already. By Anonymous from Kew Garden Hills. Because we don't sponsor to see our name up in lights like you might suggest on the occasion of 15 kids of Rebelli's birthday. Rebelli Bezok continues spreading Torah until 120. May Reb Yosef and Yeshua and everyone else, that's you, Noam, continue doing what you're doing to help Reb Eli succeed in doing so, and may all you be matzlich in everything that comes our way. Aliza Navi Sherman in very, very small print. And besides, if we fill up the page with letters, it'll be so small nobody will see it anyway. By Yisrael Shalitsky, in honor of Reb Eli's Yom Uledet, Yishkoyach. He says, Tuesday, which is today, that's the day I was born actually, on a Tuesday, Tesvav of Kislev, the outside of Reb Yehuda HaNasi, Rebbeinu HaKadosh, also called Rebbe Mishnayis. What a great schus to share. Memches Dvarim, Shatar Nixbam, now we have 49, Zoom and YouTube. Finish Shas many more times, up to 20 until your Rebbe's in a large family. It's supposed to be part of the Chever Shaf. From all your Talmidim, we learn, become Sin Yaakov Marikam Saretz. Yaakov Razner, dear Reb Eli, I want to wish you, here you go, here's the emails. I want to wish you, yeah. I don't have time.
Your YouTube mic?
Shvach HaMaisis again?
It's not clicked on, is it?
Oh. Excellent point. Excellent point. It's going to be one of those days, Rabbi Isai. I'm getting older. Forgot the mic. Thank you. How's that? Is it better? Reb Eli, I want to wish you happy birthday, Bracha. Atzlach parnas toiva, oisher va'oisher, shimal Hashem shalom zelicha, oyev, chazak v'matz ba'avidos chagdosh im kulon, mishpachas, whatever, mishpachas MDY, Bracha, Yaakov Razner. Shlomi Klein donated $100 towards your goal of Siyum HaShas Shasathon. He believes in the non-commercialization of MDY, so he donated somewhere else. Yishkoyach Shlomi Klein. Moshe Tzvi Dauber, dear Rav Elio, happy birthday, best wishes. Ches Mem Ches, Shiurim, who warms us up with your Shiurim, as I currently have COVID-19. Nebuch. He was very, very careful. He's on the board of the shul. I'll try to find some time and strength to write more. But I do believe that you, in part, have helped me to be that guy who's Balikam v'Talmud b'Yadai. Moshe Tzvi, a.k.a. Scaredy Cat Dauber. P.S. We so need the night cheer. Micha Lager. Hi Eli, happy birthday and many more in good health and bracha atzlacha. Hope we can learn together many years. Let's continue complete Shas. And then start all over again. Yom Let Sameach, Kol Tuv. Micha Lager. Here's another one from Eliezer Langer, not Lager. May Hashem bless you with Arichas Yom Shadim to continue to do our best Torah. May have much nachas from your family. I once read that this was the Chazon Ish's most favorite line in the entire tefillah. Le'yamush ha'Torah, the Torah shouldn't leave you and your children and your children's children with much thanks and appreciation. Eliezer Langer. This is from Zevi Schuper. Hi Rebellia, I would like to wish you a very happy birthday. Maybe we'll be able to finish the whole Shas together. MDY family, enjoy you very much. I want to wish you that you should have lots of nachas. Your family should go from sense to sense. I feel part of the MDY family. From David Handler, the guy that loves IPA, I think, may be blessed with many more years in good health. In actuality, this is a blessing for us all. We can't know how to quantify the merit that you're earning by spreading Torah in such an interesting, exciting way. Your share is truly amazing. Add to that, the musar that you impart is giving in a supportive manner. David Handler. This one is from Al Capone. Happy birthday, Reb Eli. May you see much nachas from your family and the entire MDY family. Thank you for your most amazing sharing, keeping me, what's the word in English? Wanting to learn more and more each day. It's an inyan to give a bracha on your birthday. Please give me a bracha. All right? Al Capone, you should be matzliach b'chol tuv sel. He doesn't realize that on top of the email it says Yoeli Elkan. So, Mr. Yoeli Elkan, Mr. Anonymous, Phil Rosenblatt, happy birthday and mazel tov to Eli. May enthusiasm and excitement continue to encourage so many other Daf Yomi each and every day. Hope you get a dog, cat cage for your birthday to contain your pets. Uncle Phil. It's almost finished, Rabbi Isai. Yehuda Brown. Rabbi Yehuda Brown says, happy birthday, Rav Eli. Kind regards. Shoichiru Boidik, Soifer Stam. Oh, coming from the 5 towns. Not going to read it, don't worry. We'll read it tomorrow. Coming from the 5 sponsoring a Daf L'Schus. Did I even say coming from the 5 towns? Coming from the 5 towns sponsored. Who else did I miss? I don't know. Okay. Hope I didn't miss anybody else.
Did you type up my last name wrong on purpose over there?
I didn't type anything. This is what I got. This is the guy who's sponsoring. That's how they did it. Sorry. You know how long this took me, by the way? There was actually 12. I took 2 off because they were for the 8-minute daf. It took a crazy amount of time. That's why I'm forgetting things now. he said it was a coincidence that yesterday an animal opened up his bag of Dunkin' Donuts, reached inside, and actually took out a donut. See attached picture. This has never happened before. You might get a kick of this. Okay, I'll read his email a different time. And from Yisrael Osfresser, Rebelli, hope all is well. First, I want to wish you a happy birthday. It's very clear you don't celebrate the Goyish birthday. Why would I? Solar versus lunar. Yashka's birthday, whatever. I don't understand how that whole thing works. But my wife doesn't even know it's my birthday. She celebrates the other thing. Hashem should give you the courage to continue your avodas Hashem with health and happiness. Baruch Hashem. Okay, we'll have to read this a different time. Zokt the Heilige Gemara. This is one of the most interesting dapim in all of Shas. I like to say that about a lot of dapim. But this one, if you're only going to learn one daf in your life, this might be it right here. So it is my birthday. I just want to give a bracha to the ganze olam. And that is that everybody should be zoicha to have a more meaningful relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the only way, the best way that I know how to do so is through learning Torah. So let's learn together, let's finish Shas together, and through that we'll build our relationship with the Rebbeinu Shalom. We're holding Daf Yud Amud Aleph, 4 lines down. Great mice here. One after another, we're going to be talking about mice, in, out, black mice, white mice, coming, going, suffix, all the sfekas and all the dakas, dika halachas and sfekas. Tzibur echad shel chametz. There's one congregation that's no good. It's a chametz dika congregation. There's one pile of chametz. Ulefanav shtei batim, bedukim. There's 2 houses right in front of the. There's a mouse, a pile of chametz, 2 houses. The mouse grabs chametz, runs into the house. V'asa achber u'shakal. V'lo yadinon, and we have no clue. Ilahai al. We don't know where he went, but we know for sure. We know for certain that this chametz in a house. Says the Gemara, Hainu shnei shvilim. This is going to take us actually in a wild ride again through Shas, crazy cases. This is the famous case of shnei shvilim. There's a fork in the road, and there's a grave in one of these, we don't know which one, laying right across the entire path. 2 men go, they have a race, they run through the path, and then they forgot which pathway they went through. Now, this is a pathway of a Rishus Harabim. So anytime you have a suffix of Tumah in a Rishus Harabim, by the way, I don't want to scare you, but there's a serious sugya of Tumah coming up in a few days. Serious. I'm talking about 5 days straight of Tumah and Tyra. Hopefully we'll get a much better and we'll calm down. It won't be that scary, the idea, the topic. Suffix Tumah b'Rishus Harabim. If you have a suffix and you don't know if you're Tumah or not and have in Rishus Harabim, it's the opposite of Rishus Hayachid. Suffix Tumah, Tahar. Okay, so if you were in Rishus Harabim, you're not sure if you stepped over a grave or not, you go to the rabbi, he tells you, you are Tahar. The problem is that there's 2 people. And he cannot tell both of the people that they're both Tahar when we know for a fact that one of them is Tameh. That would be a lie. Now, halachically they are both Tahar. But he can't say it to them because it looks like a joke. It looks like he's lying. So Taisus points out that we're talking about Taharis because each individual must go to the mikveh and purify himself, because if they're going to touch truma and somebody's going to eat it, the guy's chayiv misa. So they must go to the mikveh. So we're talking about that they touch something, and is that something tummy or not? If each one came individually to the rabbi to hire him, because that's in fact the halacha, and he doesn't look like a liar, he's telling them the halacha. You are tar because suffix tumah b'Rishus Harabim tar. You are tar. It's impossible. One of them happens to be Tameh. That's the halacha. But if they both walk in together to the Rav, Tameim, he must paskin to them, says Rabbi Yehuda, that they are both Tameh, even though they're not both Tameh. Only one of them is Tameh. But for that reason, he has to say that they are Tameh. So he doesn't look like a liar. It's the Rabbanan halacha. Rabbi Yossi Yomer, Benkach or Benkach Tameim, regardless, they are both Tameh. Omar Rava. So Memela. We have a mouse that ran into one of the houses. One of them is certainly full of chametz now from the mouse. So According to Rabbi Yossi, both houses have to be checked. According to Rabbi Yehuda, depends. If you go to ask the Shaila together, then you would have to check both of them. If you both go together to the Rav, there's no machlokes to Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Yehuda. Everybody holds your tummy. The Rakol Taharim says Rabbi Yochanan, and I'll explain to you. Says Rabbi Yochanan, there's no machlokes here. If they go one after another, they're both tahar. What happens, Shaila, if I go ask the Rav about myself, and then I tell the Rav about my friend? Rabbi Yossi says that's similar to a lie. It looks like a lie because he's asking about the same Shaila for two different people. He's going to have to say, you're both tahar, and that can't be. That's like a lie. So Rashi sticks in that the Rav is not going to paskin to him, you're both tahar. What the Rav is going to do is he's going to say, you are tahar. And then from that he's going to infer that his friend is also tahar. So it wouldn't be okay for the rabbi to say, you're both tahar, because that's actually a shtickle problem. It looks like a lie. So he'll just say, you're tahar, and the guy will understand that Allah is the same thing for his friend. Okay, here we go. More shilas, more sfeikas. Safek al, safek loyal. You have a mouse that has a piece of chametz in his mouth, and you're not sure what happened to him. He might have gone into the house. He might have not gone in. Hainu bika. That's the story of Eli. So basically, he sees the mouse grabbing chametz in his chutzner, going, looks like he's going to the front door, suddenly disappears. I don't know if he went underneath, I don't know. So what happens in the bika? This nan. We learned in the Mishnah, you go into a valley. In other words, it's in the winter. The winter is a reshus hayachid. Why? Because no one wants you stepping all over their brand new crap that's about to come out or coming out. You're going to destroy it. So yes, during the summer you have the right, you have a shortcut right, but not during the winter. So my mailer turns into Rishus Hayachid, different than the story of the two Shvilim. Rishus Hayachid, Safek Tumah Rishus Hayachid is Tameh. So what happened? He went in there, Betuma Besada Plainus, and there's a grave somewhere in one of the fields. The guy comes to the Rav and he says, I have no clue. I know I was in Muncie and I went to Shul, but it was so large over there and I didn't know. I know I got to Shul. I don't know if I went through this backyard that has the grave or this one that doesn't have. I don't know. So Rabbi Lezer says you're tar. Why? Because it's a sveika. It's a double suffix here. I don't know if I went into field A, and even if I went into field A, I don't know if I stepped over the grave. There's a grave on the side of field A. It's not whatever. I could have gone around it. Double suffix tar. Chachamim say you are tameh because at the end of the day I view it as one suffix. Did this guy walk over a grave? I don't look at it, did he go into field A? And if he went into field A, did he on his trip to Shul, did he walk over a grave? One suffix. So suffix bia tahar, suffix magatuma tameh. If I don't even know that I came into that place, tar. If I have a suffix, if I touched it, that's tameh. Rashi points out. That's great. There's a machlokes over there when it comes to tuma. Very good. But over here we're talking about b'dikas chametz, which is only in the rabbanon. So even chachamim who say he's tameh, in this case will say you don't have to check. That's how Rashi learns the next case as well. Alu badak v'lo yashkach. So very interesting. He goes into the house. He follows the mouse. The mouse has a piece of donut in his mouth, runs into the guy's house. He says, Oy vavoy, we just spent hours cleaning the house, doing b'dikas chametz. Now we have a mouse. So he goes and he starts checking the house. No, Murphy's Law, he's not going to find the chametz. He searches up and down, doesn't find it. Alu badak v'lo yashkach. Plukta the remei v'rabbanon. So there's another machlokes in Shas. This nan. We're learning stuff here, one after another after another. Very interesting. You know the famous card game, the 3-card mante. In New York, if you live in New York, you know all about this. Yeah? You go on the street, and it's a scam. The guy, he shows you that there's something on the hair, he puts a shell on it, he mixes it up. One guy wins $100. That guy happens to be the scam artist's brother. And then you bet the money, and you lose every single time. That's what's going on here. The Rameir says that if this tumah, there's 3 stones, and this tumah, you lift up one, no tumah, you're tar. You lift up the second one, no tumah, you're tar. You lift up the third one, and there's no tumah, then you're tamei. Because it's impossible that it's not in all 3. It was there. It started out there. Okay. So, kol davar shebecheskes tumah. You know for a fact there's tumah over there. Now, you just can't find it. By the way, real quickly, this will make me a little vulnerable because it's a little weird, this Maisa. But I had a problem in my front bathroom here in Eretz Yisrael. It's 2 feet wide, 3 feet long. I go in there one day and there's 5 small fruit flies flying around in my bathroom. I take out my zapper and I kill them. I come in 2 hours later and there's 6 flies flying around in the bathroom. So I take out the zapper and I kill them. The next day, there's 20. So I said, oh, the zapper is not working, it just knocks them out. So I go and I smush them all, throw them in the toilet, they're gone. Come back 2 hours later, there's 5 more. I'm talking about, I'm not exaggerating. My wife says, go get an exterminator. I said, no, I need to find out where this is. So, for a year, I've been searching for them. I haven't found it. I haven't found them. I actually divided the bathroom into 10 parts. I'm not kidding. With plastic. With duct tape and plastic, put 5 levels. And I closed the door. And I came back a few hours later, and there's flies in each level. But yesterday, yesterday I figured it out. I put saran wrap on the toilet, and there were no more flies in the room, but they're in the toilet. They're coming from in the toilet. Don't ask. I don't know. From maybe the tank or something. I have no idea yet. But now I know. I located the issue. Don't ever give up. Don't listen to the wife. Don't get an exterminator. What?
So you went a year without the exterminator.
A year and a half. And I just figured it out yesterday. I feel bad because when Leon came to my house, either him or one of his children used the bathroom, I think. And there must have been 10 flies in there. Like, what is going on with Eli? It was sugar. They're only in that bathroom. It's a 2x3. They won't go anywhere else. But they're done now. They're done. I'm getting them. They're done. Finished.
Before they used it?
What?
Do you take the plastic off the seat?
No. The plastic is just yesterday. I told you. I just discovered it yesterday. It's mamish 0. I just checked it again now. There's 10 more in the toilet. If they're coming from within, I don't think they're coming from the water. Kids, it's not going to get to the sugya today. I hope that's not the only thing you remember from today's sugya, because it's a fascinating sugya. So, no, now I know what. I'm going to pour bleach in there or whatever. I'll figure it out. Go on Google. Now I know the source. I thought it's from the floor. I thought it's from the light bulb. I caulked the light. You don't understand what went on there. A year and a half. Fine. But this is what's going on here. Rameir says, it's there. I'm telling you it's there. You just don't know how to look for it. It's your problem. There's chametz in your house. Chacham say no. If you don't find it, you can give up. Like my wife. Okay. No. So maybe a bird came and took it. Maybe another animal took it. It's not there. So what do? You check until you get to some rough dirt, and if it's not there, it's not there. I'm telling you it's there. It's there. I'm like Rameir. Listen to this. You go into the house and you find the donut. You find the donut. No, so what's the problem now? But you found the donut on the first floor. You have a 3-floor mansion. What? You stop because you found the donut? Maybe what you found is something else. Maybe the donut that the mouse took is upstairs. Mamish a good shayla. Plug to the Rebbe Reb Shimon Gamliel. It's not so simple. The Sanya Soda Sheneva book cover. You have a field that you lost a grave and you have no idea where the grave is. You go inside your tame. Nimtza book cover. But if you dug and you found the grave, you could assume that's the grave. Because it's obvious the grave that was lost is the grave that was found. Divrei Rebbe, but there's a machlokes, that's only Rebbe. Rebbe. The yard side today. Unbelievable. Tesvav Kislev. Reb Shimon Gamliel oimer tibode kol asod kula. Not true. Just because he found a caver doesn't mean anything. Maybe there's another caver. If you search the entire place and there's nothing else, fine. Hiniach tisho matzah asara. You left 9 pieces of bread, 9 donuts, like happened to Kalman from the 5 towns. I have 10 donuts. No, sorry. The opposite of Kalman. You left 9, you found 10. What is going on here? Beplukta the Rebbe Rabbanon. This is also machlok. This Anya. Hiniach mana u'matzah masayim. Rabbi said this never happens in real life, but it does happen when you have a problem with Meiser Sheni. You put $100 down, you find 200. When does that ever happen to you? Only when it's going to cause you an issue. So you have Meiser Sheni money, $100 for Meiser Sheni. You took your fruit that you're supposed to bring to Yerushalayim, but it's too heavy for you, so you switch it out for cash, and you take that cash, you bring to Yerushalayim, you buy whatever you want, you buy a steak. Now you go to the drawer to take $100, and all of a sudden there's 200. Now it's a problem. You find cash when it's a problem. So what do? You have more than you put there. So now you have a mixture of Meiser Sheni and Chulin. So I can't use the Chulin. I can't just go to the store now and buy stuff because perhaps it's Meiser Sheni. Divri Rebbe. Again, Rebbe says, we have a problem. So Rashi explains, so what do? You take another $100 and you say, I'm taking this $100 should be instead of my Meiser Sheni in that drawer, whatever it is, it should go into this $100. Those 200 become clear to use here, and the $100 that I'm holding in my hand becomes the new Meiser Sheni. Fine. Everything is chulin. Now, just very interesting that Tosfos points out that we are talking about that everything is tied together. It's one big bag, and from 9 became 10. The question is, if it was tied together, and that's the only way that Tosfos understands the sugya, how in the world did a mouse open up a bag and put a donut into the bag and make it 10? Says Tosfos, it's not a mouse. Now we're thinking about a child. Maybe somebody else was messing around with your donuts. Okay. What if the opposite? You started with 10. This is more shchiach. You start with 10 and you go down to 9. That's Kalman's story. An animal took one of his donuts. Hainu seifa. That's the last part of the brayz that says the sanyo hinech masayim umatzah mana. You left 200 of Meiser Sheni money umatzah mana and you found only 100. Somebody messed around with your money. It might have been yourself. Mana munach umana mutal divrei Rebbe. You know what? It's probably you. You probably used 100, and that's why you only have 100 left. The Chacham say no. Something happened here. It's completely changed out. The 200 that you have here went somewhere else, and somebody put in 100 instead. What? Wow, nice. So we're on Daf Yud Amud Beis, brand new sugya, sponsored by, and I'll get to a few people want to know why do we say sponsorship now. We'll talk about it a different day. Lila Nishmas, Ruchama Chaya, Fruma, Oleh Shalom Bas, Reb Pinchas Yibodl Chaim Toivim, and Lila Nishmas, Rabbi Chil Shragi ben Avram Alevi, Oleh Shalom. This is the sponsorship, otherwise known as Al Capone, from Lakewood, Yoili, the anonymous Yoili. Second, by Kalman of the 5 towns, Lili Nishmas, Menachem Mendel ben Simcha, a Talmud Chacham. So he writes in his email that every time he hears his father's name, it lifts him up. And that's why he likes to sponsor. And it's a schus for him to sponsor. And whoever says, Hozach, but the guy that wrote that email wrote another one. It's a whole Torah. We'll get to it at a different time. Third, sponsorship. Sponsored by the Fine and Pearl families in the schus of Refuah Shlema from Mindel Elko Bas Edel. If anybody needs a good real estate broker in Eretz Yisrael, Donnie Fine is an amazing real estate broker. Says, and how do I know? Because I'm using him now. Says the Gemara, Hiniach bezov bezu umotza bezov acheres. Yeah, at 1 o'clock we said. Yeah, okay, fine. And I wanted to know if you were listening to this year. Nobody call him up and tell him. Hiniach bezov bezu umotza bezov acheres. Plukto de Reb Shimon Gamliel v'Rabbanon. So what happened? You put your box of donuts in one corner and you find it in another corner. Do we say it's the same box? Just somebody moved it, or perhaps it's a new box that an animal brought in. Now you have to go search your whole house for the original. This anya kardoim shove bebayis habayis tome. You have an axe an axe, a tool, and you put it in one corner, and it's gone. Now we have to assume that a Ganav came in and took your axe. And if a Ganav came in, a Jew, that's a Ganav, he's not makbid on Gneva, then he's not makbid on Tuma, so maybe he touched your other stuff in your house. Everything in your house is Tumah. Like that famous saying, the guy told the Rebbe, I didn't steal it, I just took it, I borrowed it. Okay, fine. Whatever it is, he's not such a great guy. I was just sitting by a sefer because I'm writing a sefer Torah, and no, you cannot be mishtatev with it because I want to buy it by myself, so I have the entire mitzvah. And he told me this ma'isa that just happened to him. This was yesterday also. He said that he dealt with a sefer, a guy with a long beard and big payas, mamish, it looked like a Yir Shemaim Shen Kamayu, and it turns out after he gave him all the money, he found out the guy only wrote a half a sefer. He lied to him. And then they had the shaila, could they even use the sefer Torah? They finally got it. He wrote it. But he's not a good guy. He's a Ganav. And the Rav Paskin in that specific situation, that you could use it because based on the whole story, the guy was really, really desperate for money. He couldn't feed his family. And he thought he's going to do it, like one of these scams. Like he didn't do it l'chatchila to steal. He wanted the money now, and he thought, okay, I'll write tomorrow. But by tomorrow came, and he was in such a hole that it just happened. Fine. So they said you could use it. Anyway, a person that steals, and by the way, in yeshiva, this is famous. In yeshiva, you buy that nice cake. Here, you have this cake. It happens all the time. You put it in the refrigerator, you come back 10 minutes later, it's gone. The guy's Michael, he probably bought it for me also. So what was the eitz in yeshiva? You put a big sign there, Chalav Stam. Oh, Gneve Doiraisa, no. Chalav Stam. Nobody touched that. But anyway, Kiyadua. So, over here is a yid that steals. We chash it also on his tumah, so everything in the house is tumah. The house is tar. Why? This happens all the time. You come home, you lose your stuff, and you start accusing other people in the family. Where's my stuff? And then you find it in your own pocket. So it happens, right? Especially when you're my age, the older guys. You forget. You think that Lamaisa, somebody came and you lent it to him. Or perhaps you took it from one corner. You put another corner of a shachach. Says the Gemara, something's missing over here because we're talking about it went completely missing. All of a sudden you're telling me a situation where it's in another corner. You found it. You didn't find it. There's cases that you didn't find it. Says the Gemara, yeah, you're right. There's a few words missing here. If you lost an axe, the entire house is tummy. Because a person that has tumah went in there and took it, or another case. Let's say you put your axe, for a fact, I put it here. This is where I always put my axe. You come in the morning, it's in a completely different place. Habayis tummy. The whole house is tummy. Why? A bad guy came in there, borrowed the axe without permission. He's a Rasha, so he's not makbid on Tumah, and therefore your whole house is Tameh. Unbelievable halacha. No, you don't remember. You thought you put it in this corner, put it in another corner. You thought it's here. L'maisi you gave it to somebody else. So, same thing would be, the same halachas would apply to chametz. You put it in this corner, maybe you'll have the svar of Shimon Gamliel, maybe you put it yourself in the other corner, you just forgot. According to the Chachamim, not so. Omar Rava.
Eli?
Yeah.
In this Chisuri Mechsar, is Rav Shimon Gamliel arguing also on the first case?
Again?
In the Chisuri Mechsar,
Yeah.
is Shimon Gamliel also arguing on the first case and saying about star?
Yeah, I think so. Why not? Why don't you have the same svar that he forgot? I think he even says in Mefurish here, no? At the end, he says, here, Shani Oimer, Hishili la'acher v'shachach. Oishin atom zavizu v'shachach. He says two v'shachachs, no? Reb Shimon Gamliel himself is saying two shachachs. One on the first case, one on the second case. Omer Rava. Achbar nichnas v'kikar b'fiv. You see a mouse with bread walking into your house. When you go behind him and you find a bunch of crumbs. I mean, you would think to yourself, like, why is the Gemara so busy with this? You know, they live with, that's what they lived with, unfortunately. Like I told you, when we were building the mikveh on East 4th Street between Ditmas and F, once you crack open that cement, it's a whole different world. Then the mice start coming in. They have no problem coming into your house. They didn't have that cement. They didn't have that. They lived with the mice. That was part of the mishpacha. I'm not going to talk about the lice that they lived with. But anyway, fine. They live with them. So these are halacha l'mais. You see the mouse with your bread, and you walk in there, and you see crumbs. What could you assume? You have to assume that the mouse ate the bread, the crumbs is something completely different. Tzarech b'dika. You need to check the whole house. A mouse is not going to leave any crumbs. He finishes it all off. What if you have a baby that comes in to the house with bread? Babies are different. Interesting, the Tosfos says here, we're talking about that you found enough crumbs that you have an entire bread. Fine. And this is more like a reglayim l'davar. You understand that the bread is here. You found, this is the whole bread. There's no reason to believe that there's more than this somewhere else. Because that's the derech. Boy Rava. A mouse comes in and he has a loaf of bread in his mouth. And out goes, it's like a movie. Mamish like a movie. In comes one, out goes the other with bread in his mouth. Mau, mi amrin and hainu da'al, hainu the nafak. So it's basically based on the machlokes that were before through Shmooze and Chachamim. So, but over here it's different, as the Rishonim point out. Tosfos, over here you have reglayim l'davar. It's so there's real evidence. I mean, you can't kill somebody based on this evidence, but there's real circumstantial evidence. A mouse went in with a loaf of bread. He walks out with a loaf of bread. What are the chances it's another mouse with another loaf of bread? Okay, fine. I'll go with that. I'll accept your logic that it's the same bread. What about this case? Oy, Rabbi Isai. What if a white mouse went in with a loaf of bread, and out comes a black one? No, I couldn't let this go. I had to draw something up for this. So this is what Reuven and I came up with. Stop to get the oilam shtickle involved. I'm not going to read what it says on the black guy's shirt, but let's just say that on the white shirt it says BSM, blue strings matter. Here. That's the little cartoon. So you have a white mouse going in with a loaf of bread and a black mouse coming out. So it's gewaltige stuff. Mau. Hi vade achrinu. There's no shaila that it's not like the mouse got a suntan in the basement over there and he came out black. It's a different mouse. Okay, fine. Maybe he stole the bread right out of his mouth. He took it out. They had a fight over the bread and the guy won. Perhaps, you know what? Mice don't take from each other. I was just thinking, I don't know if this is connected, but this is the famous Gemara in, I don't remember where, in Baba Kama somewhere, maybe in Baba Metzia. Hane Achber Rishoyninu, right? The famous Gemara. I didn't have a chance to look it up. Why? Because they always bring their friends to the good stuff. So to say that they steal from each other, it might not be such. Okay, fine. Achbar nichnas v'kikar b'fiv. What if a mouse goes in with the loaf of bread? The chulda yoytza v'kikar b'fil. And the weasel, somebody's trying to tell me chulda in Hebrew is a rat. You're right, in Hebrew. But I go with the Art Scroll. Art Scroll says, when it comes to these things, I look at the translation. The Art Scroll, they do the best research. Chulda, in those days, was a weasel. So a chulda comes out. So in goes a mouse, out comes a weasel with the bread. Mau. Certainly got the bread from the mouse. Maybe it's another loaf of bread. Because if there was actually a fight between the weasel and the mouse, then you would have something that looks like this. That's a beautiful weasel, and it's not going to go for the bread. It's just going to go for the meat. As we said yesterday, they like meat. They like meat a lot more than... I had a suffix if there's a real picture of it because I didn't see footprints in the snow over here. So I don't know. You'll be medayik yourself. Okay, fine. So what happens? Let's say that happens. But what happens if a mouse goes in with a loaf of bread, out comes a weasel with the bread, and the mouse is in the weasel's mouth. It's the same. No, whatever went in came out. If it's the same mouse with the loaf of bread, then the loaf of bread, it should have been weasel eating mouse, mouse eating bread. That's how it should have been. A cooler picture than this. There should have been a loaf of bread. I should have drawn it. Gewaldig. Next time, for next cycle around, there should have been a piece of bread in the mouse's mouth. Weasel holding a mouse, holding a piece of bread. Or how do you answer this? There's no way to answer that. That's why these questions are always teiku. Maybe the fear that the mouse had of this weasel, and he's about to die, he dropped the bread. And that's why the weasel is not going to forego a good meal of bread. It's like a sandwich. A piece of bread with a mouse on top of it. He would have taken the bread also. Teiku. By Rava. Kikur b'shmei kaira. What happens if you have a loaf of bread on top of the beam, the cross beam of your house, all the way up there? Do you need a ladder to go up? I'm starting to get into this. I'm trying to come up with material for Guy Videlio. So this to me is like a sugya of Torah. If you have Torah all the way up there, what do we expect from you to do? Do you have to get a ladder? Whatever. Everybody, because I'm not so into that kind of stuff. But there are a bunch of people, like my good friend Louis Cohen, that likes to darshan. So here, take that and go with it. Me, I'm reading Kulei Hai Loetruchu Rabbanon. Do we say, you don't have to trouble yourself that much to go get the chametz? It's not going to come down all by itself. So, if it's not going to come down by itself, you're not going to eat it. Or sometimes, no, it could, perhaps, maybe, a wind, something will come down, so get rid of it. Maybe it'll fall down, but what about the opposite? It's down below. It's never going to fly upwards. Do you have to go down to get it? Certainly not going to come upwards. But maybe he himself is going to go on Pesach into the pit to do something, take care of whatever needs to be done there, and he'll come to eat it. So Rashi is not goyrus these words because it's not connected, and the Gemara's question is, Kikar b'fi nachash. I have a picture of this too. Here, you have a snake that's eating bread. Are you mechuyev to get a professional to release the bread from its mouth, or let it be? Because at the end of the day, the snake, if he's holding bread, he's probably going to eat it. So I don't have to go crazy for b'dikas chametz. Do I need a professional? Rabbanan said, I want you to work hard. You don't have to hire people to do it. Maybe there's no difference. You have to be Mekayim the mitzvah. You have to be Mekayim the mitzvah. Teiku. Says the Mishnah, which was written by Rabbi Yehuda Anasi. Today's yard site. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Boitkin Ar Yudalid. Rabbi Yehuda says you do b'dikas chametz like we do it, the night before Pesach. Ubi Yudalid Shachris. And you do b'dika a second time l'chayra. That's what it's mashma until we get to the Gemara, and the Gemara is going to say no. He means either or. You could check in the morning of Lela Seder, ubishas habiyur, and when you're supposed to destroy the chametz in the 6th hour. If you don't do 3. If you didn't do the b'dika on the 14th at night, the Lela b'dikas chametz, then you do it in the morning. According to Rashi, V'tech HaMoyed means in the 6th hour, not on Yontif, like Taisa says. What if you didn't do B'dikas Chametz? You do it after the 6th hour, according to Rashi. According to Taisvis, the concern is that you might find this Chametz after Yontif. You might come to eat it. So even after Yontif, you have to do B'dikas Chametz. And guess what? That's the halacha. if you forget to do b'dikas chametz before Pesach, you must do b'dikas chametz after Pesach. Unbelievable chiddush. And this we learned the other day. And any leftover chametz, yanichenu b'tzina, you should put it in a special place. We had a machloikis. Maybe the chul will come in front of him and take it away. Maybe it won't. Maybe he'll put 10, he'll have 9. But anyway, get rid of it. Says the Gemara, my time of the Rabbi Yehuda, why do you need 3 bedikos? Rav Chizda Rabbi Rav Huna Damar Tarvayu keneged shalish hashbasi shabbat Torah, because it says in the Torah 3 times to get rid of your chametz. Lo yirah lecha chametz v'lo yirah lecha sar, 1. Shivas yavim sar lo yimatzi b'vateichim, 2. Arba yavim rishon hashbisu sar b'vateichim, get rid of that leaven. Mazer Rav Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, kol shaloi badak b'shloisha prokim halalu. It seems like if you didn't do one of these times, shuv any badak, that the point of Rabbi Yehuda is not so much that you have to check 3 times. The point is, if you didn't have an opportunity to check at one of these 3 times, that's it. Farfallen. You can't check again. You don't need 3 checkings, like you would read simply in the Mishnah. What it means to say that you have 3 opportunities. You missed opportunity number 1, check in the morning. You missed opportunity in the morning, check it at Chatzos. Not that you have to do it 3 times. What he's saying is, once you miss Chatzos, once it's already Isser Chametz, then you can't check anymore. Too late. Mazuzah Masna Hacha, same idea. Maser Rav Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Kol Shalei Balak Be'echad. You hear the word Echad, in one of those 3, not 3. One of the 3, Mishleisha Brokem Halalu, Shuveni Baidik, you don't do B'dika anymore. Alma B'Shuveni Baidik B'Dika. The whole difference between Rabbi Yehuda and Chachamim is whether you could check after the 6th hour. Rabbi Yehuda says no more checking. Chacham say keep on going. According to Taisus, check after Yontif. Hello, Rabbi Yehuda Namiim Loi Bodakomer. You're right. That's not how you read the Mishnah. Rabbi Yehuda is trying to say, if you didn't check Lil B'dikas Chametz at night, check in Shachris. Not Shachris, check by Mincha or 12 o'clock at noon. So what is the machlokes? Mar Sovim Kamei Yisur in Basa Yisur Eloi. Says Rabbi Yehuda, you can't check once the Isur of Chametz happens. Why? Because you might come, you're going to check, very good. And then what are you going to find maybe? A nice glazed donut. You're going to come to eat it. What are you talking about? It's Erev Pesach. He knows what he's doing. He's holding a candle in his hand. He's going to eat a donut now. We're not choishish that. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Amen. Shalom Aleichem Reb Shloimi Leitner. How are you? You guys can unmute. Yishkoyach. It was one of the most beautiful renditions of Happy Birthday. One of the nicest ones I've ever heard. If you ever heard what singing sounds like on Zoom, Amen, amen. Shkoyach. Count what? Yes, yeah.
Wunderbar is a regular German word. It's not Swiss German.
It's not Swiss German. Okay.
No, just regular.
Hold on a second. No. You know what? I'm mixing it up. I'm mixing it up with Alzagema. Alzagema. You ever heard that term?
Swiss people there are 20 different accents of Swiss German. So.
Yeah, no, I used to hear my grandmother or whatever, Alzagema. Let's go, something like that. Migate, Alzagema. Wirklich is German, right?
Eli, I'm not sure if they can count in South Korea. Maybe in Punovich they can count. There's only supposed to be 48 jelly beans in that bag.
Oh, that's what it was. There's a lot more than 48 jelly beans. I can guarantee you. No, what? There's no way there's 48 jelly beans here. There's more like 100. I guarantee you there's closer to 70 in here.
Happy birthday, Eli.
Yishkoyach.
Eli, the guy at the store asked me why in the world are you getting such a big balloon? Usually you get the small one. He says happy birthday from Sweets R Us.
Yishkoyach.
Happy birthday.
Hello, Michal Glenn.
Michal Glenner. How you doing, Michal? A Chicagoan is here. Does the Eilim recognizes Michal?
Not really. Can't tell.
Eli, did you get my birthday card?
No. From where? From how? You sent me a birthday card? Where?
He'll only get it after this year. I'm not allowed to speak to him before this year. And definitely not allowed to come in the house before this year. Absolutely. You're not allowed to speak to him all this year either.
Happy birthday, Rebelli.
Oh, Rabbi Eli Akapon, Shalom Aleichem. You know when you send an email, Bisman Hazeh, it says the name on the top, the sender.
I know.
It's part of the shtick. Ich verstehe. Listen, Rabbi Flax is on. Do you guys see Flax? Flax is on. Where is he? I just saw him.
Happy birthday, Rob Owen.
Yoel is on also. Ishkoyach.
Yoel is getting you 48 Slurpees.
Hold on, Marty. How you doing, Marty? Rabbi Moshe Tzvi, you okay? It's as bad as they say it is? How's your taste? How's your tongue?
I've always had good taste.
Rabbi, oh, here's Flax. Flax, how you doing, Flax? You doing okay? Tzadik, what's your first name? Oive, he's shy today. Rabbi Flax is shy today. Yesterday he was schmoozing with us. Oh man, I read your email, Zevi. Shkoyach Zevi.
Happy birthday, Eli.
Happy birthday, Rabbi.
Shkoyach. Thank you.
I'm going to say it now. The package didn't come. Eli didn't find it in his house yet, and I'm working on it. I'm just saying because you don't have to.
Baruch Hashem. Thank you. Thanks Hashem.
Happy birthday, Eli.
Happy birthday, Rebelli.
Reb Shmuli, Shkoyach. Yisrael Shalitsky, Shkoyach for the sponsorship. Shkoyach for the warm wishes. Unbelievable.
As they say in Lubavitch, now you have to say the 49th Kapitel Tehillim.
How do you know what they say in Lubavitch? All of a sudden, now, because you went to the oil one time, so you became a Lubavitcher?
I go all the time.
Shlomi, you heard my shtach? You didn't hear my shtach.
Something about me giving money somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah. So you heard it. I know. I was a thousand, not 990, 1,000% kidding around. Actually, when I saw it, I was actually touched and moved. What? You don't have to give here.
The reason why I did it is so I could put the www.8minutedaf.com on their website. A
true chassid. See, when I first saw it, I was moved. I just thought about this thing. Oh, wait a minute. He didn't give money to that. Because I was reading this commercialization. One email after another. There's outrage. Like, so if you knew who it was, he's such a geschmack, a good guy. But like, people want to go and like literally destroy this guy. Oh, we're gonna kill this guy. Chutzpah, shake it. Was sagt man?
I just want to tell you.
Ich kann nicht.
Hey, I just want to tell you, we already got our first email with how you're supposed to clean the toilet.
Let me guess. It said something about vinegar and water, right?
Have a good day, everybody. Be well. Have a good day. Laveli, happy birthday.
Gedalia, Shkoyach, Gedalia.
Also, Laveli, my dad says thank you for shouting him out yesterday.
Oh, my pleasure. I saw him today. Don't think I didn't see him. I saw him.
Rebelli, I guess the stuff was giving me back for the stuff that I sent you yesterday.
Oh, I'm gonna read that. Don't worry, we're gonna get there.
That one wasn't bad. It was pretty good, actually. You're in the house. We're always in the car.
No, this is when he drives for the produce. This is exactly when he drives. He goes, picks up. I'll tell you exactly what's going on. He buys fruits, and he's on the way back from produce.
Rebelli, I'm on the way back to the mouth. Rebelli, today's your birthday. It's Mazoli Goiver. You have the power to bench. Don't waste the power. Bench all of us with brachas.
I did already. I did. If you were part of the shir, you would know. If you wouldn't come on just at the end.
Normally on double speed, 10 minutes, I can get to the turning of the daf. Today I didn't even finish the sponsors yet.
It's okay. After that, he's going at triple speed without you.